My wife said my family always comes first, you come second. I replied, good to know. Then I moved myself to first place in my own life. Separate finances, separate plans, separate future. When her family emergency came and she expected me to pay, I should have seen it coming from miles away. I'm a 35-year-old man and I guess I should have recognized the pattern earlier. But you know how it is when you are living inside the situation. You make excuses for things that should not be excused. You think it will eventually get better with time. You convince yourself that you are overreacting or being too sensitive, that this is just how families work. My wife is 33 and we have been married for 5 years total. Her family has always been deeply involved in our lives, really involved. The kind of involved where her mother has a key to our apartment and uses it whenever she feels like dropping by unannounced. Where her brother treats our garage like his personal free storage unit for whatever he does not have room for at his place. Where family dinners every Sunday are not optional social events but mandatory attendance requirements. At first, I honestly thought it was sweet. Big family, close-knit, always there for each other through thick and thin. It felt warm and welcoming after growing up in a smaller, more distant family myself. Took me about a full year of marriage to realize that always there for each other actually translated to always there to take whatever they could get. Her brother Marcus needed $3,000 for a business opportunity that sounded sketchy from the start. The opportunity never materialized into anything real. Her sister Rachel needed help with rent payment, just this once she promised, that somehow turned into 4 consecutive months of us covering her portion. Her parents needed a new air conditioning unit for their house, and somehow that expense became our responsibility to handle. Always an emergency, always urgent, always requiring my wallet to open. Every single time I tried to push back even a little bit, I got the same scripted response. But they are family. Like those 3 words explained everything. Like being related by blood or marriage gave them unlimited access to our joint bank account and my personal savings. But I am not here to complain about 5 years of financial exploitation. I am here to talk about what happened with my birthday trip. We had planned this coastal vacation for months in advance. Nice hotel already paid for in full, time off from work approved by both our bosses. I was genuinely excited about it. The first real vacation we would take in over 2 years. Then her mother calls on a Tuesday evening. Her brother Marcus needs someone to co-sign a loan. $8,000. My wife was in the kitchen when she took the call on her cell phone. I was in there making coffee, half listening to her side of the conversation while I measured out grounds. Then I heard her say without any hesitation, of course we will help him. I will cancel our trip this weekend. Let me talk to my husband and call you right back. She did not ask me first, did not even pause to consider, just immediately agreed and volunteered to cancel our plans. Hold on, I said, setting down the coffee scoop. We are not canceling our trip. She covered the phone with her hand. My brother really needs us right now. This is important. Your brother needs a co-signer for a loan he will absolutely default on within 6 months. That is not our problem to solve. Her face did this thing I had seen before over the years but never really acknowledged or named. This look of pure disbelief that I would dare question any decision involving her family. Like I had committed some unthinkable offense just by saying no, we are helping him. The trip can wait until later. We can reschedule. No, we are not rescheduling. We are going. She looked genuinely shocked. What do you mean no? I have never heard you say no to helping family. I mean no, we are not canceling our vacation. We are not co-signing anything. I am completely done funding your family's endless series of disasters. She told her mother she would call her back in a few minutes. Then she turned to me with this expression on her face like I had just announced I was joining some dangerous cult or running away to another country. Why are you being like this right now? He is my brother. He needs help. And I am your husband, which apparently means absolutely nothing in this relationship. That is not fair to say. You are right. What is not fair is me being treated like an ATM machine for people who have never paid back a single loan. What is not fair is canceling our plans every single time someone in your family snaps their fingers and demands something. What is not fair is always being expected to sacrifice while they never sacrifice anything. My family always comes first, she interrupted me. That is just how it is and how it has always been. You come second in my priorities. You knew this when you married me. I was clear about my family from the beginning. The silence that followed felt like all the air got sucked out of the room. I could hear the coffee maker gurgling in the background, the refrigerator humming, normal sounds in a moment that felt anything but normal. Say that again, I said very quietly. My family comes first in my life. You are second. That is just reality. Family is forever, but marriage, well, she trailed off without finishing the sentence. She did not need to finish it. The message was received loud and clear. I understood perfectly. Good to know, I said calmly. So you understand why I am not helping? What? No, I am telling you we need to help them. And I am telling you no, but I appreciate the clarity about where I actually stand. I walked out of the kitchen. She followed behind me looking confused and frustrated. Where are you going right now? To pack for my birthday trip. You can stay here and help your family however you want. I am going on this vacation. You cannot just go without me. We planned this together. Sure, I can go alone. You made your choice about priorities. I am making mine. She started sputtering something about me being unreasonable, about not understanding how families work, about me being selfish and cold. I just kept packing my suitcase methodically. I took the trip by myself. Actually ended up inviting my buddy James from work instead. We had a genuinely great time. I posted pictures on social media of the beach and the restaurants. She called me approximately 15 times over that weekend. I did not answer a single call. When I got back home on Sunday evening, I had made some very clear decisions about how things would work going forward. We had always kept mostly separate bank accounts during our marriage, but I had been covering roughly 70% of all household expenses because I make more money than she does. And she always had some family emergency completely draining whatever funds she had in her account. I set up a brand new checking account at a different bank, changed my direct deposit from work to go into that new account, sat down with a calculator and figured out exactly 50% of every single bill we had. Mortgage payment, utilities, internet service, groceries, everything. That was what I would pay going forward, not a penny more than my fair half. She noticed pretty quickly when her Visa card got declined at the grocery store. I had removed her as an authorized user on my credit card, the one she had been using freely for her family's constant emergencies. What the hell is this? She came storming into my home office where I was working. My card does not work anymore, correct. I canceled your authorized user status. You cannot just cancel my card like that without telling me. It was not your card, it was my card. You were an authorized user on my account. You are not anymore. Her face went bright red with anger. How am I supposed to pay for things now with your own money like every other adult in the world? This is insane. We are married. Married people share finances. And according to you, I am second place in your life, so I am treating this marriage accordingly from now on. You handle your priorities however you want. I will handle mine. She tried the whole guilt trip routine. How could I be so cold? Did I not love her anymore? What about our partnership? What about being a team partnership? I actually laughed out loud at that word. You literally told me to my face that I am second priority to your family. There is no partnership here. There is you, your family getting whatever they want, and then somewhere way down the priority list there is me. So now I am putting myself first for once. That seems fair, right? You are punishing me for being honest. No, I am just matching your energy level. She went to stay at her parents' house for a few days, probably expected me to cool down or apologize or beg her to come back. Instead, I turned our spare bedroom into a proper home office for myself. Her craft supplies that had been spread everywhere got boxed up neatly and moved to the garage. What did you do to my room? She asked when she came back. Got myself an office space. I needed a room that is actually mine. That was my craft room. Was it though? I pay half of this mortgage. This is my house too. I am using my space now. We barely spoke to each other after that confrontation. I started doing my own thing completely. Signed up for a woodworking class at the community center. Joined a recreational softball league with guys from work. Made plans to see friends without including her or even informing her. When she would ask where I was going, I would just say out and leave it at that. Her family's weekly mandatory Sunday dinners stopped being something I attended. Every single week she would ask if I was coming. Nope, why not? Got other plans. What plans? Just plans. It drove her absolutely crazy. She was so used to me being available all the time. Being the guy who showed up and smiled and paid for everything and never complained. Now I was just not that person anymore. Things stayed tense like that for several weeks. Then the real emergency finally hit. Her brother Marcus, turns out he had been gambling, not like casual weekend poker with friends. Underground gambling games with serious money involved. He had got himself into debt with some very dangerous people for $35,000. My wife came home one evening with her entire family. Parents, sister Rachel, and Marcus, who looked like he had been physically worked over. Black eye, split lip, walking stiffly. We need your help, her father said the moment they walked in. No hello. No how are you, just straight to demanding something. Help with what exactly? My son owes some very dangerous people a lot of money. We need $35,000 by the end of this week or they are going to seriously hurt him. I looked at all of them standing in my living room, her mother crying dramatically, her sister Rachel looking desperate and scared, her brother Marcus avoiding any eye contact with me. That sounds really rough, I said calmly, her father's jaw visibly clenched. We need you to help us with this. Why would I do that? You could literally hear a pin drop in the silence that followed. Because he is family, her mother screeched through her tears. He is your family, not mine. And apparently I am not actually part of this family anyway, remember? My wife grabbed my arm hard. Please, these people could really hurt him. This is serious. He probably should have thought about that reality before gambling away $35,000 that he does not have. Her brother finally spoke up. Dude, these guys are not playing around. I am in real danger here. Then sell your truck. That is worth what, $15,000? Sell it. I need that truck for my work. And I need my money for my own priorities. You made your choices, now deal with the consequences. Her father stepped closer to me in what felt like an intimidating way. What kind of man abandons family during a real crisis? The kind of man who was explicitly told he is second place. The kind who watched all of you treat him like a walking ATM machine for 5 solid years. That kind of man. We took you in, treated you like a son. I actually had to laugh at that statement. You treated me like a bank. There is a very big difference. Her mother started wailing even louder. Please, we are begging you, he could die. You probably should have done better parenting then. My wife's face went completely pale. How can you be so heartless? Easy. I learned from watching your family for 5 years. You want to talk about heartless? You have spent 5 years making it crystal clear that I do not actually matter to any of you. I am just useful when you need money. Well, guess what? I am not useful anymore. I will divorce you, my wife said very quietly. If you do not help him, I will leave you. Okay, she blinked several times. What did you just say? I said, okay, go ahead, divorce me. You will actually save me the trouble of filing the papers myself. That was when her sister started screaming at me, called me every horrible name she could think of. Her mother joined in the screaming. Her father looked like he genuinely wanted to hit me. Get out of my house, I said very calmly. All of you, right now, this is her house too, her sister yelled. Nope, my name is on the mortgage, not hers, my house. Get out now or I am calling the police. They left, dragging my still crying wife with them. She did not come home that night or the next night. I found out through a mutual friend that they managed to scrape together about $20,000. Her parents took out a high-interest loan against their house. Her sister pawned her wedding ring. Her brother sold his truck. They were still short $15,000. The people Marcus owed apparently gave him a short extension but started charging additional interest. And apparently they all decided this entire situation was completely my fault. Update 1. The harassment campaign started almost immediately after that confrontation. Her father showed up at my office at work, somehow made it past the lobby security, started yelling at me right in the middle of the open office floor in front of all my coworkers, going on about abandoning family, about being a coward, about what kind of man refuses to help. Building security had to physically drag him out. He was screaming the entire time about how I would regret this, how karma would get me eventually. My boss called me into his office right after. What the hell was that scene? I explained the whole situation. The gambling debts, the money demands, the divorce threat. Jesus Christ, he said. Look, I get your position, but we absolutely cannot have that kind of scene happening here again. Understood, I will handle it. But handling it turned out to be much harder than I thought because they were not done with me. Her mother started a phone campaign, called literally everyone in my extended family. My parents, my siblings, my aunts and uncles, cousins I have not spoken to in years. Told all of them that I was heartless, that I refused to help during a life-threatening crisis, that I was abandoning my wife. My mother called me after getting one of these calls. She is saying you would not help with some kind of emergency. She is saying I would not give her brother $35,000 for his gambling debts that he owes to dangerous people. There was a long pause. Oh, that is very different from what she told me. Yeah, good for you, baby. Do not let them bully you. Most of my family was actually cool once they heard the real story. But her family just kept escalating the harassment. Someone keyed my car in the parking lot. Deep, deliberate scratches all down both sides. I am 90% sure it was her brother Marcus, but I could not prove it. Filed a police report anyway. $800 in damage to repair. Then my wife's sister Rachel showed up at my recreational softball game one evening, waited until we were completely done playing. Then cornered me alone in the parking lot. You know they beat him up again, right? Broke 2 of his ribs. That is on you. That is on him for gambling money he did not have. You could have prevented it by helping. He could have prevented it by not being an idiot with money. You are a sociopath and you are all enabling a gambling addict. We all have our flaws. She called me several more names and then left. The really dirty trick came through my work again. Someone filed an anonymous complaint with Human Resources. Claimed I had been making threatening comments about harming family members and showing unstable behavior at work. HR called me in for a meeting. Different person this time, she looked uncomfortable. We received a formal complaint about you. From who? It was filed anonymously. But they are claiming you have been volatile and making concerning statements about harming family members. I just stared at her. That is completely fabricated. We are required to investigate all complaints we receive. I ended up having to write a detailed statement explaining the entire divorce situation, the harassment from her family, everything that had been happening. It was completely humiliating. This really needs to stop, my boss told me after the HR investigation. I am sympathetic to your situation, but if her family keeps involving the workplace, we are going to have a serious problem. I am working on it. I started documenting absolutely everything. Every phone call, every text message, every incident, built a detailed file. My wife finally called me. First time we had actually spoken since that night with her family. We need to talk about this. Talk about what? About us. About fixing this situation. There is nothing to fix. You made your choice. I made mine. We are done. Do I not at least deserve a real conversation? You told me I am second place and expected me to fund your family's crises forever. We already had the only conversation that matters. I did not mean it like that when I said it. Yeah, you absolutely did mean it, and that is fine. But you do not get to have it both ways. Your family comes first. Great, they can support you through this divorce. She started crying over the phone. Please, can we just talk face to face? Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her for coffee at a neutral location. Big mistake on my part. She showed up to the coffee shop with her mother, ambush style. Her mother started in immediately before I even sat down. You need to stop this foolishness and help us. I am leaving right now. I stood back up. My wife grabbed my hand desperately. Please just listen for 5 minutes. I came to talk to you, not to get ambushed by your mother. She is here because you refuse to listen to reason. Reason? You want to talk about reason? Your brother gambled away $35,000. Your family took out loans they cannot afford to pay back to cover his mess. And somehow I am the unreasonable one for not joining that disaster. Her mother's face went bright red. He made a mistake. People make mistakes. He made a series of terrible choices, bad ones, not my problem. We raised you like a son, she screeched, fed you at our table, welcomed you into our family. You used me. There is a very big difference. I left them sitting there, blocked both their phone numbers immediately. The divorce papers arrived by mail a week later, along with some absolutely insane financial demands. She wanted half the house. Fine, standard, half my retirement accounts. Sure, that is how divorce works in this state. But then she wanted me to pay all her legal fees because she claimed the divorce was caused by my financial abandonment. And she wanted compensation for emotional distress to the tune of $10,000. My lawyer actually laughed out loud when she read through the demands. They cannot possibly be serious with this. They are completely serious. We will counter with reality. This is ridiculous. The legal back and forth started, her lawyer playing hardball and making unreasonable demands. My lawyer systematically shutting everything down with facts and documentation. Meanwhile, her family situation was apparently getting significantly worse. I found out her parents might actually lose their house. The loan they took out had some kind of balloon payment coming due that they could not possibly cover. Her brother Marcus had completely disappeared, just vanished. Word through mutual friends was that he left the state entirely because the people he owed money to were not playing around anymore. And her sister Rachel's marriage was falling apart because she had pawned her wedding ring and her husband was furious. All of it landing directly in my wife's lap to deal with alone. She tried texting me from her sister's phone since I had blocked her number. Are you happy now? My parents are losing everything. My brother is gone. My sister is getting divorced. All because you would not help. I screenshot the message and sent it to my lawyer. Did not respond to her at all. What was there to say? Update 2. Court day finally arrived. She showed up with an entire entourage. Parents, sister, even some cousins I barely recognized from family gatherings, like they thought numbers would somehow intimidate me or sway things in her favor. Her lawyer looked extremely smug. Had this whole presentation ready about how I had systematically isolated and financially abused my wife throughout our marriage. My lawyer brought actual receipts, started with a detailed spreadsheet. 5 full years of family emergencies I had personally paid for, every loan, every bailout, every crisis. The total came to just over $24,000, not a single penny ever repaid. She showed documentation of how I had been paying 70% of all household expenses despite us both working full-time jobs, showed the credit card statements with $3,000 in cash advances the month before I canceled her access. All that money sent directly to family members. Then came the text messages, years worth of them, her canceling our plans constantly for family obligations. The exact conversation where she said point blank, my family comes first, you are second. The judge's eyebrows went up noticeably at that particular exchange. Her lawyer tried to spin it. My client was in an emotionally impossible situation, forced to choose between her husband and her family. Nobody forced her to choose anything, my lawyer cut in sharply. She made that choice herself explicitly and repeatedly. And my client accepted it and acted accordingly by protecting himself. Her mother could not help herself at that point, started sobbing very loudly in the back of the courtroom. He abandoned us when we needed him most. The judge looked up with obvious irritation. Ma'am, you are not a party to this divorce proceeding. Be quiet or leave the courtroom. That shut her up temporarily. Her lawyer tried yet another angle. I should pay all her legal fees because I had caused the divorce by withdrawing financial support from the marriage. She filed for divorce, my lawyer pointed out calmly. Not him. She initiated these proceedings, only because he made the marriage completely untenable. By setting reasonable financial boundaries after being explicitly told he was second priority in her life. The judge looked tired. Counsel, unless you have actual evidence of abuse or illegal activity, this court is not interested in marital drama. Do you have such evidence? Her lawyer floundered noticeably. Well, the sudden withdrawal of financial support. He stopped paying for her family's emergencies with his personal income. That is not abuse. That is establishing a boundary. Next argument, please. They tried hard to push for alimony payments. Claimed she had been economically dependent on me during the marriage. The judge looked at her income documentation, looked at all the evidence of where my money had actually been going, her family not her, and shut it down immediately. The court finds both parties are employed and capable of supporting themselves. No alimony is awarded. The final settlement. House gets sold and proceeds split 50-50. Retirement accounts divided per state guidelines. We each pay our own legal fees, no alimony, no contact order. Her lawyer tried to argue further, but the judge was completely done. Outside the courthouse, her father tried one more time to guilt me. You are really going to let her family lose everything? We are going to be homeless because of you. You took out loans you could not afford to cover gambling debts. That is entirely on you. We welcomed you into our family. As a wallet. Yeah, I know, good luck with that foreclosure. Her brother Marcus showed up completely out of nowhere, must have snuck back into town. He got right in my face immediately. You think you are better than us? I think I am smarter than you. He shoved me hard. My lawyer stepped between us, already on her phone calling courthouse security. Touch my client again and we are filing assault charges immediately. Security arrived fast, escorted him away while he yelled about what he would do to me, how I would pay for this. All the usual empty threats from someone with no power. My wife just stood there crying while her mother hugged her tightly. Her sister was on her phone, probably trying to find somewhere for them all to stay since her parents were about to lose their house. I drove away while her father yelled at me about karma and how I would get what I deserved. The house sold within a month. We got full asking price. The market was good. After paying off the mortgage, we each cleared about $85,000. She needed her portion immediately. Her parents' foreclosure was already in process. I put my half in a high-yield savings account and started seriously looking at condos for myself. Found out through mutual friends what happened to all of them after. Her parents lost the house to foreclosure, moved in with her sister Rachel. Rachel's marriage did not survive the stress and constant family drama. Her husband filed for divorce. Her brother Marcus is apparently still in another state somewhere, still dodging his gambling debts. My ex-wife is working 2 jobs just trying to stay afloat financially. Her settlement money disappeared within weeks trying to help her parents avoid foreclosure. She lives in a tiny studio apartment now, broken and exhausted. Her family barely talks to her anymore. Apparently they blame her for letting me get away and ruining their easy money source. The irony is not lost on me at all. As for me, I bought a nice condo downtown. 2 bedrooms, great balcony, modern kitchen. It is all mine, no compromises. No ugly furniture from her mother. No family photos I have to pretend to like. I am seeing someone new now. She is a teacher, has her own life, her own money, her own healthy boundaries with her family. When she talks about her family, it is completely normal stuff. Nobody calling at midnight desperately needing cash for emergencies. We are taking it slow and actually getting to know each other. Had one final contact with my ex-wife. She got yet another new phone number and texted me, I hope you are happy. You destroyed my whole family because you could not help in one emergency. I thought about not responding at all, but I needed to say it one final time for my own closure. Your family destroyed itself by treating people like ATMs and making terrible choices repeatedly. I just stopped participating in the dysfunction. Good luck with everything. Then I blocked that number too. My therapist asked me recently if I felt guilty about any of it. No, I said honestly, and I meant it completely. Why not, she asked, because I did not do anything wrong. They had an emergency. It was not my emergency to solve. They faced consequences for their choices. Those are not my consequences to bear. She nodded approvingly. Sounds like you have processed this very well. Maybe I have. Or maybe I just stopped caring about people who never actually cared about me. Either way, I sleep perfectly fine at night. The revenge was not elaborate or clever. It was not some master plan I executed perfectly. It was just stopping. Stopping the endless loans, stopping the constant sacrifices, stopping the cycle of putting myself last while they put themselves first every single time. They called it abandonment. I call it self-respect and boundaries. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made in my life.